Welcome to the stream. Tea has brought health benefits to millions of people over centuries, but now there is a rising concern over potentially dangerous teas which claim to transform your body. Now, some of the most popular are promoted by celebrities on Instagram. I'm Femi Oke.
I'm Malika Bilal. Today we'll look at the risks of drinking these teas and ask whether influencers are abusing the trust of their fans. Send your thoughts through Twitter and YouTube.
Flatbelly tea, tea me, boo tea. Sales of these so-called detox drinks are rising around the world, spurred by paid promotions from people like Kim Kardashian, Cardi B, and Britney Spears. Many consumers say they're happy to pay up to $50 a month for tea toxes, which claim to boost immunity and reduce waistlines.
But many so-called slimming teas are packed with laxatives and diuretics and can cause diarrhea and vomiting. Health officials warn that it's easy to drink more than recommended, increasing the risk of serious damage to the heart, liver, and colon.
Actor Jameela Jamil is leading the charge against detox teas. She recently denounced model Amber Rose for promoting a pregnancy version of flat tummy tea. US politicians have also chimed in, with Senator Richard Blumenthal urging regulation on both the sale and promotion of detox teas to, quote, protect consumers from harm.
And our community also has a lot to say on this topic. Here's one person who urges caution with so-called detox teas. Take a look.
The problem with detox teas is they often contain nutritional supplements that are untested and unregulated. I spoke to one nutritionist who works with several eating disorder patients, and she said that overuse of these detox teas can lead to things like fatigue, jaundice, even vomiting, irregular heartbeats. The bottom line, stay away from this stuff.
We are joined from Madison, Connecticut by Bonnie Patton. She is the Executive Director of Truth in Advertising, a non-profit media watchdog.
Niza Nosralli is the founder of Niza's Wonder Tea. That's a UK-based herbal tea company. She's in London.
And Stephanie Mandel is a holistic nutrition consultant. She joins us from New York. Hello, everybody. It's good to see you. I was trying to find out what was actually in some of these teas to work out how they would work. So I'm looking at this one here, our mission on flat tummy tea. We're here to get you back to looking good and feeling good. Little edit there from me. Our purpose, to help you live happier, healthy lifestyle. And we are blenders at heart, meaning we love mixing tea, herbs, and natural ingredients. I was looking for the ingredients of the tea and I couldn't really find any ingredients. And then how does boo tea work? Fantastic name. No fancy words or jargon, just natural herbal ingredients that deliver results. Stephanie, if you were going to examine what it is that these teas do, now I realise that there's so many different ones that are out there, but the idea of drinking a drink, from a nutritionist consultant's point of view, what could that do to your insides that's positive?
That's positive, yeah. So, I mean, tea has been around for a long time, thousands of years, and a lot of the herbs used in tea have various benefits. We can talk more about that, but certainly, there's a wide range of different herbs used in these kinds of teas. And as that woman was saying, there are things like laxatives and diuretics and things that have very real effects on the body. So, in terms of positive benefits, herbs like ginger, we know is anti-inflammatory. I mean, there can be good things in these teas.
So I want to share this tweet from Ashley Lauren, a member of our community. Ashley says, I want a flat stomach like the celebrities. Plus, tea is mostly known to be healthy. I would never want to try those waist trainers that some celebrities use. Moving a rib is not my cup of tea. Tea itself, however, comes from the ground. I guess you will shock us on Monday, meaning today and in today's show. So Stephanie, when she says you will shock us, she's of course talking about some of the things that people don't know are in their cup of tea, especially when you think, well, tea comes from the ground and tea is all natural. What is she talking about there?
Yeah, so again, I think like anything with nutrition, there's a bit more nuance to it than is friendly to marketing. But certainly, the laxative type ingredients like senna that are in some of these teas are, they stimulate the muscles in the body to have a bowel movement, to be frank, right off the bat. And short-term use in someone who's generally healthy of mind and body may not be a problem very short-term, but it should be monitored. And certainly anyone with any sort of digestive issue, a whole range of issues, should not use something like senna, and nobody should be using it long-term, meaning more than couple of weeks at most. There are, of course, exceptions to that, and that comes down to an individual basis and should be discussed with a trained practitioner.
Sure. I see Nisa nodding there. Nisa makes Nisa's Wonder Tea. I'm on the Instagram account of Nisa. Nisa, one of the things that you say about your tea is that there are no laxatives in this tea.
No, I do not use any laxative in any of my teas, and this is a promise I make to myself as a consumer of the tea and to my customers who are valued customers to me. So I've been making this tea for near about a year and a half and a little bit more now, and I've been marketing it through to the UK and Mauritius, where I come from. So what I do is I found that this story is of my own. So when I started after my babies and I started trying to lose weight, I couldn't, and I started to use these products that effectively had laxative. It kind of really exacerbated my IBS, and it caused me a lot of issues, which in turn made me go and find out my own herbal alternatives. And I looked into the different herbs that I'm using, and I am very proud to say that I am one of the few who do not use any laxative, and I have so many good reviews from customers, but also I am very transparent in all my ingredients. I know you were saying earlier you wanted to find the ingredients on the website, but if you go on my website, you will literally find all the ingredients, and I follow the UK guidelines, so every ingredient is listed in order of the percentage it is used. Yes, I do use my diuretic, which is dandelion root and burdock root, but I dose it completely, and it's completely dosed properly. And I also have a very detailed instruction with a packet. I also do not believe that this tea is the only thing that's going to cause your weight loss. What I do believe and what I do promote via my Instagram, my social media, my Facebook, and everybody who meets me wherever I go, I say it's a tea, it's a healthy eating, and it's also being able to control. So what we use the tea for is to help you. And also the teas that are stronger, I have a thing that you cannot repeat them.
Nisa, take a pause, because this is not a Nisa's Wonder Tea advert, but I do appreciate your input.
Sorry. No,
right, it's almost impossible to avoid it, but I'll get you to take a pause for a moment. Bonnie, there are so many of these teas out there. They are detox teas and slimming teas and dieting teas and health teas, and who knows which ones work and which ones don't work. But from an advertising point of view, a truth in advertising point of view, this is something you have looked into. How much can you advise the consumers about which ones to go for? Because they always have beautiful women as people, as the advertisers or out there. They all seem to be wearing bikinis, and I have amazing abs and flat stomachs, and before it's like a pooch, and then after sucked in. And who knows what's true and what's fake?
It is very hard to know, and it also is detox tea. It's got an ambiguity to it. What it may mean to one person, it may not mean to another person. And I agree, you're seeing a lot of these different teas on social media, Instagram in particular, with women who don't look like they need them at all. Here in the United States, one of the things the law says is that if you're going to endorse a product, you have to be a user of the product. And that if there are other factors that are causing you to have your six-pack abs, that you should be disclosing that to the consumer so that they are starting to get some information about how that influencer went about getting that incredible flat tummy. Another issue is you need to tell consumers that what they're viewing a lot of times is an ad, that these influencers are getting paid to do it or they're getting free product. Because if we don't know it's an ad, then we might think that this is an organic endorsement by someone that we admire, that we want to look like or attain their sort of lifestyle. So there are a number of issues that can be raised. And I think on the ingredient level, consumers absolutely want to know what they're drinking and putting into their bodies. And so if these health claims or fitness claims are being made, then I think it is incumbent upon these companies and marketers and influencers to let consumers know what is causing this flat belly, or how are they operating, all these different ingredients to have these health effects on us.
So I hear what you're saying there, and I want to play a video comment that we got from a gastroenterologist in Chicago. This is Dr. Jonathan Foster, and here's his view on these so-called slimming teas.
Hi, Dr. Jonathan Foster, gastroenterology. Slimming teas are advertised as a quick weight loss tool seen on many social media platforms. Research confirms there are health benefits of black and green tea. Slimming tea, however, should be used with caution. Slimming tea may have active ingredients including laxatives and diuretics, may interfere with a patient's own medications, and is not approved by the Food and Drug Administration. A person should always consult with their primary physician prior to any usage of any slimming teas.
So the active ingredient, including laxatives and diuretics. And I wonder if audiences know that. We got this comment from someone on YouTube talking to us live. They write, Cinna, the ingredient that you mentioned there earlier, Stephanie, Cinna has never done anything for me but give me awful stomach cramps and really irritated my IBS. So talking about the medical aspects, there was that video comment from the doctor. But Bonnie, talk to us about where we might see this in an ad on Instagram, because of course on television, you'd see it at the end. You'd hear it in very fast talking about all of the things that might be side effects to a drug or to a medicine. Where would we see things like this?
Well, here in the States, the law really says that you need to identify an ad as an ad in a clear and conspicuous manner. So hashtag ad is one way to do it at the very beginning of an ad. But anything that immediately lets us know that what we're looking at is some sort of paid endorsement or that they got this for free is incredibly important. So we shouldn't have to search for that information. And then any information that is really material to our wanting to purchase the product should really be disclosed there. And I think, the problem is not only should they be touting the benefits of these supposed detox teas, but they should also be letting consumers know about the risks so that there's a balance in that marketing material, just as you have to do for other drugs or over-the-counter drugs, laxatives. I mean, what we have here really is a really great polishing and rebranding of laxatives. I don't think if we had Kim Kardashian, touting her laxative, it would probably sell as much as when she gets on there promoting flat tummy tea or fit tea or what have you.
I want to show you. Go ahead, Stephanie. Go ahead.
Oh, no, I think those are great points.
Yeah.
I think there's just a lot more that people need to be aware of.
Like, for instance, go ahead.
Not in Niza's tea. I did take a look at that one, but in some of them I have seen there are things like caffeine, and people need to be aware of that. It's an obvious diuretic. And just being, I think, just some sense of the potential downsides to these, or at least the potential effects, would hopefully prevent someone with something like IBS from trying this without consulting their practitioner first.
Let me just play this to you. This is Jameela Jamil, who is an actor. She was at a blogging conference in Los Angeles in February, and she got quite angry about the idea of these detox teas being promoted by celebrities with a lack of responsibility. Look at what she had to say.
People look up to us. If you accept money to promote a product, and therefore you are telling someone that if you want to be like me, if you want to dress like me, if you want to drink what I drink, then you are telling them to be like you, to emulate you. You have a responsibility to the consumer to make sure that you're not selling them a toxic substance or a toxic rhetoric. If you're on Instagram and if you've got thousands of followers and those followers are young and you have a platform, use it responsibly. Or just go to hell where you belong.
Niza, I mean, your tea is out there in a market where there are sexy models, there are influencers, they're all promoting different teas, and you're in the middle of all of that. How did you decide that you were going to go ahead with your marketing strategy?
I don't think I've ever had like a clear marketing strategy which involved using women's body or using false marketing. What I do use is my own customers' experience, but I also do not believe that I should be promoting some things that I don't use. So first of all, me and my family, we use my product, but also the product it comes with all sorts of different, as I was saying, it comes with the benefits and the possible side effect. I advertise it on Instagram. I also inform the client. So for example, people who are breastfeeding, people who are pregnant cannot be having the teas. There are the decaf versions that they can have, but that's different. But the thing is, what you have to think is, as a seller here, as a person making this tea, my main responsibility is toward my customers. I have to give them a product that they can use in good faith and not be affected by it. And if it doesn't work for their health, I wouldn't be selling it to them. And I think this is what everybody should do. I do not use any kind of high-end influencers or anybody like this. Anyone who I use to promote my teas completely gives honest reviews, and also they proves that it's from their lifestyle change and the teas that it's working and going to the gym, which I clearly do as well. So it's not just about tea, it's a load of different issues. And I think this is what they don't promote on social media. When you see Kim K putting on the tea, Kim K doesn't say, oh my God, I have this amazing chef. Oh my God, I have this personal trainer. I don't have a chef. I make my own soup, and sometimes it doesn't taste nice. But you know what I mean?
Well,
she's going to be.
That's the issue with social media, right? We have all these influencers who are only showing us the positives of their lives, right? We're not seeing a lot of negative. And I think the issue here is that there are a multitude of influencers promoting these detox teas on things like Instagram. They're not disclosing that they're ads, so they're bringing down sort of the critical thinking that many consumers would do. They're not telling about the risks, which is another issue. They're not telling about all the things they do in their life to obtain the figure that they have. And so that it's completely deceptive and misleading. And the problem is that because social media skews young, you're getting a lot of kids and young adults that are going to try these really laxatives or drugs that they really need to be cautious about. And so, I mean, I think there's more than 1 million hashtags associated with the term detox teas on Instagram. So not only are consumers seeing these ads, but they're also engaging on social media about it, putting up their own before and after pictures. And so I think there, is a real issue here about how do we engage in responsible marketing so that there isn't harm to consumers. And I think that's a great, issue that needs to be addressed.
When we talk about before and after pictures, I wanted to share one from Niza's Wonder Tea. This is your Instagram account there, and you can see the caption is, "My own weight loss journey. Green was July 2016, blue is April 2017, and orange is April 2018. My personal battle to lose weight." So you see pictures like that, and of course your account is not the only one. We got this tweet here from Abdul Sharif, who says, "These teas are really funny in ads. How can a common tea reduce lose 50 kilograms of potbelly in some men that don't like gymming. Keep dreaming. Talk to us about what you know and how you learned it, Niza, when it comes to being able to have a balanced diet, weight loss regimen, and use those before and after pictures to get the effects you want in the after.
So for me, my husband is the one who kind of pushed me towards eating healthy and taking care of my health. Obviously, it's very important to him. He's a very fit guy, and he's been trying to help me to maintain my balance. So what I do is I replace food, like, for example, I replace rice from rice to quinoa. I'll still have my curries, and I'll cook it with less oil, or I'll cook it with spray oil. I'll use loads of vegetables to bulk up my plate, and this is what I do. And also, what the tea has done for me is I had a big appetite. I was literally eating like a man. But what the tea has done for me is...
Nothing wrong with that, Niza. Nothing wrong with eating like a man and having a healthy appetite. I'm pushing back on that one.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
What I'm saying is, what my tea has helped is it has helped me reduce bloating, and it has helped me keep me full. But then the reality of it is it helps you. Green tea has benefit that is known worldwide, but obviously you shouldn't be abusing it. So this is the one thing that people need to know. You cannot you can't abuse something that's good.
Niza, I think you've made that point really, really well, that there's no magic bullet here, there's no magic cup of tea that's going to do it. Bonnie, I want to show our audience something that Tina.org, so your organisation, actually investigated and looked into. And this was the flat tummy tea, and the advert that appeared on Instagram a couple of years ago with a British reality star, and she says nothing's going to get you flat the same as this tea will. And this is her apparently before, and this is apparently afterwards. I think she's just sucking it in, but that's just me being cynical. But you pointed out that there's no scientific evidence that anything in this tea will give you a flatter stomach. Are we now looking at legislation, regulation, or if people were that gullible, go for it?
Oh, no. I mean, I would never take the position that, consumers are gullible when it comes to these things. I mean, a picture's worth a million words, right? So you see this happen. The problem is that if a tea company, is going to make a claim, this tea will flatten your stomach, this tea will melt away the fat pounds, whatever it has to say, they have to be able to back that up. They can't just make that up. And so the problem is with a lot of these teas that they're making health claims or diet claims that they have no scientific evidence to back up. And that's a huge issue. And that means that they're making deceptive claims that are just not permitted in most countries under the law. So, what we want is truthful advertising. We're not saying that you can't promote the product, but if you're going to promote a product and you're going to use it with health claims, then you've got to have the backup for that.
I hear your point there, and I wanted to share this from someone on Twitter who says, we look up to celebrities and we want to be like them, but their lifestyles are not an easy reach for the everyday man. I can't afford a trainer, a chef, a stylist, a plastic surgeon. So if the tea is cheaper than the above, then maybe a shortcut too. So Stephanie, in the closing minute of the show here, would you like to see regulation to help people like this person on Twitter?
Of course, I think it would be helpful, whatever's going to be helpful to give people perspective that it's not either or. It's not just the teas or you've got the celebrity lifestyle and all that support around you. I mean, there are a lot of things that people can do around diet and lifestyle that can make a big difference. And yes, tea can provide some benefits that support the body toward certain goals, but it needs to work for the person, and that can come down to the really individual level. So the more education and the more information out there, the better about how these teas can work.
Completely agree with this.
Right. I mean, unfortunately, the companies, they understand this, right? You can't afford the chef, but you can afford the tea. And that's what they're banking on.
Although some of these teas are incredibly expensive, like the most expensive cup of tea I've seen for a long time. All right, Bonnie, Niza, Stephanie, Thank you so much for your input, for helping us understand the so-called detox teas and the dangers and the things that we should be aware as consumers. We appreciate you joining us on the stream today. Luke and I will see you next time. Thanks for watching, everybody.